Okay, so we're here for part 2 of congruence transformations notes. And when we left off, we had just translated a figure and shown that translation. Now we're going to go back. They've already translated the figure for us. They've got the dashed figure is the image. It's the one that's been moved. And then you've got the solid line figure. That is the pre-image. That is the original figure. And that's going to be important. And we're supposed to write the rule to describe the translation. So what they mean by write the rule is they mean write this T with the angle brackets, the numbers that go on the inside, and what the shape is that we're moving. So we are doing translation. So both of these will start with T's. Then we got the angle brackets, and then what are we moving? In part A, we are moving figure X, Y, Z, W. And the order doesn't matter. You could have said W, Z, Y, X. And so now we just have to figure out how many we've moved it. So I'm going to pick any point on my solid figure. I'm going to pick W because I want to. And then I'm just going to see how many over and how many up I have to go to land on its corresponding point, W prime. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over. So I'm going to write a 5. And by the way, this angle bracket with the 5 is a subscript if I had been typing this. And then I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up as well. So I'll give you just a second to try. Please pause the video and then come back. Okay, so I got P angle bracket -6, -4, A, B, C, D. Now, lots of my friends, the mistake that they make on the U-try is that they accidentally go from the dashed figure to the solid figure. But remember, we're going from the solid to the dash. So make sure that you went down 4 and left 6 to get from C to C prime, for example. And so that's why this was -4, the second number, and the first number was -6 because we went left 6. Okay, let's now look at reflections. We're going to focus on two kinds of reflections. We're going to focus on the x-axis reflection. This time, instead of using a T to notate, we'll use an R, for reflection obviously, with a subscript of either x-axis or y-axis. Obviously, R subscript x-axis would be a reflection across the x-axis, and R subscript y-axis would be a reflection across the y-axis. So let's look at how these behave. What happens is, when you have a reflection in the x-axis, you're basically going to take all your y's, and for your moved figure, you're going to replace them with negative y, change them to negative y's. And the x-coordinate doesn't change. Similarly, for the y-axis, you're going to take all of your x's and replace them with negative x's, and the y-coordinate does not change. Or some people think of these in terms of the distance away from the x-axis should be the same distance for both the image and pre-image, or the distance away from the y-axis. Either one of these methods work. Here we go in example 4. Let's try it out. Each figure is reflected as indicated. Find the coordinates of the vertices for each image. Use prime notation to label the vertices of the image. So we are graphing triangle CDE, and its coordinates are 2, 4, and 5, 2. And this is the original image. So 2, 4, 5, 2. Oh, and then I've got a third point for my triangle, 6, 3. The triangle looks like this. Okay, we're reflecting it across the x-axis. So one way you can think of it is that, just like we said, you can take all of the y's and change them to negative y's. So for C prime, you can graph to negative 4 instead of positive 4. For D prime, you can graph by negative 2. And for E prime, you can graph 6, negative 3. So here we go, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. For C prime, D is 5, negative 2. And E prime is 6, negative 3. Other people think of this in terms of, how far away am I from the x-axis? Here I was 2 spaces away from the x-axis, so my D prime will also be 2 spaces away from the x-axis. That's just a different way to do the same thing. Or C was 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces away from the x-axis, so C prime will be 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces on the other side of the x-axis. Either method will help you to graph them. So I'll give you a second to pause the video and try the U-try, and then we'll come back and check our answers. Alright, so here I have my original figure, JKL, on the left. Don't forget to do your primes with your moved figure, your transformed figure, in this case your reflected figure, with the primes. Again, method you could have used, you could have said this is negative 1, positive 5, this is negative 2, positive 3, and this is negative 4, positive 6 for the reflection. So we're going to wrap up this second video, and then when you're ready to do rotations, you can play video 3.